The possibility of Justice Sotomayor having to resign or retire in the next 4 years is extremely high. You couple that with Alito and Clarence Thomas,
yeah.
then that means that you go from a 6-3 court to a 7-2 court. You have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court, and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option. Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
Yes, tonight's red hot video. Some on the left, like that lunatic, calling for failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris to be appointed by President Biden to the United States Supreme Court. And he wants heads to explode and lots of stress and chaos over the weekend because he's not a liberal, he's a leftist. This comes as Democrats are, listen to this, agonizing over Justice Sonia Sotomayor and are debating whether to force her out, force her off of the Supreme Court, while they still have the power to approve her replacement in the United States Senate with the Lizard King in charge there. They did it with President of the United States, Joe Biden. So what would stop them from doing it with a lowly Supreme Court justice? Isn't that amazing stuff? Now, I've got to say, it sounds like insanity. And Bakari Seller is going with this. He wants people's heads to explode and he wants chaos. And, the left is really here, and they are the Democrat Party.
I'll give you 3 reasons why this is not going to happen. First of all, Kamala Harris was already found to have inflated her prosecutorial record well above what she actually did when she was AG, and then prior to that, as the San Francisco DA. 2, the Senate would never pass this. They would never get the votes for this. Do you think Joe Manchin is going to vote in a lame dunk presidency to appoint Kamala Harris to the Supreme Court? And then 3, Joe Biden would never nominate her unless they literally forced his hand, picked his hand up physically and signed a paper, because he has a lot of sour grapes over the way that he was pushed out of this process, and he's not going to reward the woman who helped the Democrats do it.
You're ruining Bakari Seller's fun.
Good, that was my plan. Now you guys a terrible weekend.
I don't think she's ruining it. I think that's exactly the kind of reaction that Bakari Sellers was looking for. And I can tell you, I think Joe Biden, maybe Kamala Harris isn't his favorite person. I don't know. But one of the things I can tell you is he likes Donald Trump a whole lot less. So I think the fact that this would upset him, and the fact that I'm not sure how this would work. Would Kamala Harris cast the deciding vote for herself? You know what I mean? That would be so interesting. You know what I mean? And, I think the fact that Republicans, a lot of times, particularly MAGA Republicans, like to stir things up, like to, trigger the libs. I think this is an interesting idea. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's interesting. I think, number one, 70 is not old. Right. So, Sonia Sotomayor can probably make it another 4 years if she should decide.
She has diabetes and she's 70, so they're looking to give her the hope.
I feel like this is so racist because poor Sonia Sotomayor, the Hispanic woman on the court, they want her to force her out to retire, same way they forced Joe Biden out. This is not going to happen. Not in a million years. Sonia Sotomayor is going to be like, sorry, honey, I got this far. I'm not stepping down to put, cackling Kamala Harris on the court.
It's
not
the
happening.
greatest job in Washington. Sellers is
and
wrong.
Joe Biden won't pick her. There's no way.
Well, that's true. He hasn't exactly been helpful with her recently. Legal scholar and Harvard law professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz agrees that Biden has the right to appoint a new justice if Sonia Sotomayor were to step down. No reason to think she will, but doesn't think it would be a very good move for the court.
It would hurt the Supreme Court if this happened. It would really politicize the court and politicize the process by which justices resign, retire, and then other justices get appointed. So the real question is, do you put the partisan advantage before the Supreme Court? I think John Roberts, the Chief Justice, who I also know, would be furious if this happened because it would very much demean the authority of the Supreme Court.
Colonel, they would obviously put their political interest before the legitimacy of the court or anything else. Right. I mean, that's not even in question.
No.